What is up, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls? It's your boy Goblin, and today we're coming in with a classic Q&A video. This is going to be a shorter one because I couldn't really find too many questions that I hadn't already answered, so I encourage you guys to try to get a little more creative with the questions. Ask your questions using the hashtag AskGoblin in the comments section below, and yeah, just try to branch out a little bit. I feel like I've answered almost every drug question I can possibly answer, so I picked like 6 or 7 questions for this video, so it's probably going to be way shorter. But either way, drop a like if you enjoy. Let's dive into it. So, question 1 from Cheeky Panda, hashtag AskGoblin, is or was there a drug that you were afraid to try because you thought it would be too much for you to handle? I think I've talked about this before. I'm not really sure if I've gotten this like exact question, but acid, I was pretty spooked about, not going to lie. When I like first tried acid going into the situation where I was like going to my friend's house, I was pretty fucking scared. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I pictured acid as like almost how South Park depicted it when like Kenny was on the dragon, like tripping balls. That's like how I viewed acid. I was like, oh, this is about to be fucking nuts. And it's absolutely nothing like that. But, I was pretty scared to try that. Other than that, shrooms a little bit, not nearly as much though. But of course, shrooms ended up being the one that I didn't like, and acid ended up being the one that I really liked. Besides that, I mean, crack a little bit. Not really, though. At that point, I didn't really give a fuck. But yeah, that's really all. Besides that, most drugs that I'd tried, I was pretty excited for or looking forward to. And I don't encourage any of you to try the shit I do. But yeah, next question from Baron Mike Mangini, I don't know. Hashtag AskGoblin, what do you think is the most overrated drug? Oh man. Out of the stuff that I've done, Xans. 100% hand down Xans. Xans are just, fuck those, dude. They're not worth it. They're so shit. Like, sure, I'll admit, it's nice now and then, just pop a bar or two and relax. Like, there's a reason people do them. It's not horrible, but like, it's also not worth it for the effects and the price and like how addicting that shit is, like most pills in general are not really worth it. Most like prescription crap isn't really worth it. Adderall's shitty as hell. Most of the painkillers like hydros, perks, all that, fuck that. But Xans in particular are garbage. In terms of stuff I haven't tried, I would say probably lean, just simply because of how much that costs and how like hyped up it is in like media, like music and Twitter. Like, everyone's hyping up lean, and that's kind of dying down a little bit. It's not really like as big anymore, but still pretty overrated in my opinion, especially for the absurd fucking prices people pay for it. Next question from Cameron Aries. What's the fastest you have ever nutted? Hashtag AskGoblin. I'm gonna limit this question to only like experiences with the female, because when I was like 12 or 13, I probably nutted in like 2 strokes when I was beating my meat. But in terms of being with a girl, let me think. Probably, there's this one time I remember I was getting head and I nutted within like a minute. Like, I just could not contain myself. I hadn't beat my meat in like 3 or 4 days, and like my dick was just in overdrive, and my balls were like filled to the brim. They were like, my shit was cooking in there for like 3 or 4 days like a crock pot, and I just busted a nut with the force of like a million suns, and it was nuts. Both figuratively and literally, it was nuts. And yeah, that was an interesting one. That's probably the quickest experience, like with a female. It was a quick 60-second nut. I busted, and then I nutted again later. But first one had to be quick. Next question from Undocked Chain. Hashtag AskGoblin. What classes do you want to take at community college? Honestly, I don't really want to take any classes. I'm just taking classes to see if I like it or not. Figure out if I even like want to go to college, because I haven't been to school in so long. I don't even like remember what it feels like. I don't remember it. Like, I'm only signed up for 1 class over this upcoming summer semester, and I go 2 days a week, 3 hours a day, just to kind of figure out like, how I like it. I signed up for I think it's like a fundamentals of speech class or something, some bullshit that like I know I can probably pass. So, I mean, I'm not really interested in too much. I'm just doing it to see if I like would enjoy college or not. Anyways, thanks for the question. Next question from Hasta Coronas Mexicub. If you had 30 days to live and $1 million, what would you do, and what drug combo, drugs, crazy shit would you do? $1 million in 30 days. First thing I would do I would definitely probably rent out like a nice ass apartment or something, or like just the nicest place to live I could. I would buy a fat fucking whip. I'd pay that bitch off. I don't care. It's whatever. Actually, no, I wouldn't pay it off, so I'd have more money left. I'd just, make the down payment and then pay like the first month's payment because I'd be dying. But they didn't know that. I'd finesse them. They didn't know I was going to die. So, then I'd have a good bit of money left. And I'd probably just buy a fuck ton of weed and just try to smoke as much as I could possibly handle. And maybe trip, once or twice. I mean, yeah, I would probably just smoke a bunch of weed and trip once or twice. I'd party all the time. I'd definitely probably get a hooker. Fuck it. That's an experience you got to have. I'd get a prostitute. Fuck it. I'd hit the strip club. That's for sure. I'd probably bring like 20 grand to the strip club just so like every stripper would be like bewildered. And I'd probably buy like a couple AKs and like hire some hitmen to just come with me and like shoot up anyone who tries to take my 20. That's probably what I'd do. That'd be a hoot and a holler. Let's see, what other shit would I do? I'd just smoke a bunch of fucking blunts and try to fuck as many women as I could before I died in that last 30 days. That's pretty much what I would do. And I would just do cool shit. I'd drive around a nice car, a couple nice cars. I'd live in a nice house for that 30 days. I'd probably buy a bunch of fucking RuneScape gold because I've been playing a shit ton of RuneScape, and then just give it away and see people's reactions. That'd be fun. I'd probably just like tweet out a dick pic because fuck it, who cares? At that point, it doesn't fucking matter. On like my 29th day, no, on my first day, I just tweet out a dick pic and just be like, all right, where the bitch is at? Just to put myself out there, just to let them know how I'm rocking. I can't really think of anything else. That's probably what I'd do. But anyways, thanks for the question. Next question from Rotha CSGO, #AskGoblin. Have you ever had bad withdrawals from any drugs? Now, I probably would have if it weren't for the fact that almost every time I stopped doing a drug, I replaced it with a different drug. But in particular, weed was kind of hard for me. No physical withdrawals, but mentally, I still think about it all the time, like, especially when I first stopped, I was really irritable. I was just uncomfortable all the time. And I was just like, all I wanted was weed. All I could think about was just smoking a blunt. It just sounded so prime, like, besides that, I never really had super bad withdrawals. I mean, Xans, I probably would have, but I replaced it with other drugs like immediately. So yeah, I mean, that's basically it. Thank you for the question. Next question and final question from That's Definitely Some Good Excrement, quite the name. #AskGoblin, have you ever done any drugs that you didn't enjoy the high from? Which drug gives you personally the worst high, and which gives the best high excluding acid and weed? I didn't enjoy the high from crack. That was shitty. That was probably the worst high I've done, or worst high from a drug that I've done. Not really too keen on like cold medicine, like DXM. I did it a lot, but I look back on it and I never really enjoyed it. I just kind of did it. That was also really shitty. And I mean, like the come down and the next day was always just garbage. The best high excluding acid and weed, probably. Ooh. I don't encourage any of you to try this, but it would have to be a tie between ketamine and Molly. Both of those I really, really enjoyed. Probably leaning a little more towards Molly, but ketamine I also did like while I was doing it. So yeah, thanks for the question. That's all I've got today. Hope you guys did enjoy this video. Drop a like if you did, and don't forget to ask more questions using the #AskGoblin. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.